Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux with another supporter stream where we're talking about researching phones for a custom ROM or maybe just researching where to buy phones, whatever happens to apply to whoever is on today. How's it going, Selby?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Yeah, you made it back in time from your coffee
Yeah.
trip. Right.
So I have my coffee and life is good.
I'm still on my second cup of coffee today. It's almost empty. It wasn't like I didn't want to chug it and then rush and make tea, so I'm just going to slowly finish that, and then I'm going to make coffee or make more tea in between our shows, so before our Christian show, which we're going to be doing a fun doozy of all these crazy weirdos pushing sex ed classes for little children. And we'll be talking about that over on the Christian channel tonight. Get your children out of public school, that's for sure. Anyway, how's it going, Dan?
Okay. You're doing fine.
All right. So, how's the weather up there?
The weather today was spectacular, sunny and a high of 70 Fahrenheit.
Oh, nice. Very good. Yeah, it's I end up in weird places, like hit Florida, it's like the hottest day of the year so far. Go up to South Carolina, it was literally the coldest it has been there in a long time. It gone down to like 20. I literally used a quarter tank of diesel fuel keeping the van warm. And FYI, that is not fun with our current Biden inflation gas prices. So
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, here the temperature is 35 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 degrees centigrade. And in the middle of the day, it was 7 degrees centigrade, some 44 Fahrenheit. So this spring is coming, and parts of my lawn is starting to show. So.
Okay. How warm does it get where you are? Are you more north or are you not more north?
I am more north, yes.
You are more north.
So I am I'm at the same longitude, or I'm at this about the same latitude as the north of Alaska, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Alaska? Wow. Yeah. I know there's a latitude line that runs across the United States-Canadian border.
Now,
so you're
Alaska
way up above
that.
Alaska.
Yeah. But we have the warm Gulf Stream that is warming Europe, so it's not.
So you have parts of the day where it's light all around the clock, and then parts of the year where it's dark all the way around the clock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where I am, it's getting a little dusk in the middle of summer, and that's all the dark there is.
Yeah. It's like there's that old Al Pacino movie, Insomnia, right? Let's go check it out. It's he goes up there. He's a police detective, like a corrupt police detective, and he goes up and is trying to help solve a murder up in northern Alaska, and so it's light all day, and so he just can't sleep, so starts going crazy. Ends up shooting his partner and stuff. Good film. Haven't seen that for a while. I should go watch that. All right, let's go ahead and check in on comments here. It's called Sailfish OS. There you go. Any phone that already runs stock Android is a good start. Usually buy OnePlus phones or Motorola phones. Yeah. I don't buy Motorola's because it's too much of a hassle to unlock the bootloader. You got to register with Motorola and give them an email just saying, no, just let me unlock your stupid phone. Let's see.
That's good to know, because I was considering maybe getting a Motorola phone.
Yeah, they're really good phones. If you're not going to mod it, Motorola's are really good.
Toss really loves them.
Yeah, they're a pain, though, if you need to mod them. Like, you can install custom ROMs, but you have to fight with it, and then sometimes their server is down. It's like, just let people unlock your phone. Okay, they bought it. Let them do with it what they want, So that's kind of why I steer away from Motos, even though they are, on a hardware level, really good phones. Like phones that doesn't have a touch screen on it, Yogi Man. All right, well, good luck. If you're trying to do a smartphone without a touch screen, sorry, BlackBerry just went out of business entirely. They sold their entire line of patents to patent trolls. Have fun. Just doing a kind of research. Luckily, interesting enough, Google Pixel version seems most flexible on that front. Yes, Google Pixels are really good, believe it or not. Did I cross the time zone? Not since 2 weeks. I am on the Eastern time zone, and I am moving my way up the Eastern seaboard right now. So, I can't really say seaboard. I'm a few hours from the ocean, but close enough. Closer than I was when I was over in the desert, you know. Playing with Void all day, working well, awesome. No, we're not. The stream's not any earlier. Unless you're moving around too, I haven't. But of course, you know, there's the whole daylight savings thing, hey, finally we got a bipartisan bill that everyone can get behind. Let's stop this nonsense of changing clocks. I'm all about this. You know? Of course, the fun history, you know, the fun political joke is that Nancy Pelosi will veto it. Like, no, absolutely not. Yeah, that drunken old hag. Let's see. Nearly spent on this month's 35 gigabytes hotspot limit. Very nice. Hello, Junko. If I can remember the phone number of the Samsung A50, I'll have more hotspot. Ooh, there you go. Original Scandinavian version of Insomnia is far superior. What's that? Any familiar with that?
No.
Okay.
But I checked the globe that I have on my shelf. I am up about the same as far north as Fairbanks.
Fairbanks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can't find the Mint Mobile card for the old phone. No. Yeah. I guess that's why you need the phone number. Say if you have the phone number, you can go or the login, you can go and order a new card for Mint Mobile. It would be nice if custom ROMs were available for some cheaper phones without losing any hardware features. Yeah, that's a good argument there. So why are we doing this? So you guys have anything else to contribute before I jump into my, I guess, monologue type portion?
Well, you know, I've had nothing but I've had 2 iPhones since the flip phone era, so that's where I'm stuck at.
So they're serving you well. All right.
Yeah, I got a lot of years out of the iPhone 5, and then the iPhone 5 didn't, because it had such little storage capacity and it didn't suit me anymore. So I got an iPhone 7 with 128 gigabytes of storage in it. And I think I bought that in 2017, and it's still running pretty strong. Okay. I guess the equivalent of it right now, if I had to replace it, would be an iPhone SE.
Okay. Yeah. Which is the iPhone that I like the most for the form factor nature.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, not big brick size. It's 4.7 screen.
You get the I think it was The Verge this week. Oh, the iPhone SE is a new phone stuck in old design. Actually, some of us like the old design, you know.
Right.
I don't like the new design.
The major difference of it over, I think, an iPhone 7 is that it's got a more powerful processor in it. That'd probably be the major feature. And it'll probably do G5. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of old phone design, I have this is my phone.
That's old.
Now, is that really
this,
old,
last year.
or is
that's a flip phone that don't flip?
Newer ones that you can get those in the newer models for modern networks, though.
Yeah, this is a newer one for it has 4G and I think also 5G.
Yeah, those ones are pretty nice. Does it have a lot of smart features, or is it just phone and basic?
It's a phone, but it has it's one of the Asian. It's not Android, and it's one of the other less known ones.
Okay.
And it suits me fine. I'm not going to use the smart features anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
I want a phone, plain and simple.
Yeah, there you go. That's generally how I work. All right, so let's get into the explanation for why we're doing this topic here today. So, as I'm traveling around the country, I don't know, was it a month and a half ago? Almost 2 months ago now. I land over in Texas. I get down near Freeport, Texas, down by Houston, and I don't have any cell signal. I'm like, well, I guess Mint Mobile just doesn't work out here. Well, that's a bummer. Can't push my affiliate link on people down in this town. But I'm going around, and what I'm finding is that, when I'm in a city, I generally have signal. When I don't. I'm like, I don't even have any signal for like weeks at a time. I think I actually went 6 weeks where I did not have cell signal on my primary phone, on my Mint Mobile phone for, at my whatever campsites. In cities I did, so if I'm at a Walmart parking lot or something, I do. But generally I don't. And so I'm thinking, Mint Mobile just doesn't work as well over on this side. And so I'm going around. Well, I end up driving over and actually visiting Tech Haberdashery. And of course, Tech has the same carrier I have, and he's got perfect signal. I'm like, I don't. Well, I have 2 phones. Let's swap the SIM cards. Yeah, guess what? It is the cellular antenna in my phone went bad. And so when that happens, there's really nothing you can do but get a new phone. We're not exactly going to engage in Rossmann level repair to swap out the cellular antenna on a Nexus 5X. And so it's like, all right, now I realize this. Let's start doing some research. Guess what? You cannot order a phone from Amazon and ship it to a pickup location. For whatever reason, they have to ship those to addresses. So that's kind of annoying. So, okay, I got to deal without a phone for a while unless I can happen to find one. I'm doing all my research, and the phone that I'm eyeing the most would be a Pixel 3a. Why? Because the Pixel 3a is the last phone I know of that is modern enough, but it has no notch and it has a headphone jack. Everything I want. I covered the Pixel 3a.
The headphone jack. Gotta have it.
You know what? I could wait for a while or whatever else, but I'm visiting a friend in another city right now, and he's like, well, there's this tech exchange place in town. Let's go check them out because they have great deals. This place was absolutely amazing. I go in, they have like original PlayStation 1s in boxes. They have the original monochrome Game Boy for sale for like $70. Hundreds of Nintendo games, hundreds of Game Boy games, all of the old geeky stuff. They had a rack of VHS tapes, guys. And some players to play them on, which was kind of cool. But they had modern stuff. They had DVDs and Blu-rays. They had modern video games, and they had phones. So I look around, and wouldn't you know it, they have a Razer 2, which is one of the gaming phones, Razer Phone 2. And it does not have a headphone jack, I'm very sad to say. But it does not have a notch either.
It sounds like you found a place that we used to have a place on the highway down the road here called the Whoopie Bowl.
Ooh, the Whoopie Bowl.
It's a place where they actually bought out wholesales of all kinds of gadgets, stuff, just, anything. Even car parts, shock absorbers, mufflers, telephones, MP3 players, TVs. It was just, a smorgasbord of tech and non-tech junk.
Yeah. So I ended up buying this guy, and Lineage is so well supported that this is now running Android 11. Of course, the stock build for it only goes up to like Android 8, I think, maybe 9. I can't remember. But this one is actually running Android 11 on Lineage, and I literally took me like 10 minutes to flash Lineage on it, and then, another extra hour or so to transfer backup files and things like that. So now I actually have a phone that, hey, look at this, I have signal. I have like good 3-bar LTE signal that works, and the phone is it is bigger than I like as well. This one was even a little larger than I like, and this one is big compared to it. And so it is bigger than I like. Now, what's my big advantages? Well, it technically has the same camera capabilities as the old Nexus, 12 megapixel in the back. It is, I think, dual 12 megapixel though. So it does take a lot better, sharper images. And since I've been using a lot of my cell phone footage for the travel channel lately, and when I walk on Switch to Linux, this can actually record in higher videos because it actually is an 8-core processor and 8 gigs of RAM. Very interesting device.
How much internal storage?
It has, I think it's 64 internal, but it has an SD card slot. So it is expandable memory. So
nice.
There's another big bonus as well. So if I do need to have that, I can expand out the memory.
Yeah, you'll have to investigate what kind of SD card will go in there because they come in different speed ratings now.
I don't really use my phone for a ton, so I don't really have a need for an SD card in it, unless I find that I'm recording a lot more in 4K, because this phone will actually record true 4K.
Yeah, some of the people I know that do video with their phone, they have to have the really expensive high-speed, 256 gigabyte card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends on what you're doing. So I end up getting that, and I buy that, and $250, which is actually an amazing price for that phone even today. I think I saw them on eBay for, I saw them as low as 175, but they averaged around 350. Amazon only had one. It was, I think, $400. So I'd say the price was a good deal. I'm actually quite happy with the final product. I'm able to put on my custom host file, do a lot of blocking. I have Tor all set up. So all my internet browsing is through the Tor network, and I have all of the functionality that I needed for everything else. So actually, I really like it. It is a nice phone. And so that's kind of the story for why we're talking about phones today. And what we want to do is get into how to research phones for custom ROMs, because it is a good question we get.
You've been getting really lucky with tech devices lately.
Well,
laptop,
when you travel around
phone.
the country and visit obscure places, you tend to find deals. And of course, knowing what you're looking at also is a big deal. So, you know, and it does look like I do need to change that charging port on that one computer, but hey, $170, but I put $30 into RAM, and if I need to put a charging port into it, that's still a really hot steal. And so with that, let's talk about how you find phones, where you research them, and I will have a video about putting Lineage on that. It's going to be a shorter video than I thought it would. It was extraordinarily easy. It's like, really? We're done? Huh? Okay. But anyway, yes, I'll be.
Yeah, I have 2 or 3 rather smartphones. I have an Samsung Galaxy S4 and the S4 Mini. Mm-hmm. But when I had my first one, and I don't use them for phones, but my first device, a smart device, a friend of mine, it was not behaving correctly. So I had it for a time, and a friend was visiting, and he's had at that point gathered some experience in reinstalling a custom ROM on them, and we failed to install. What I have learned since is that in order to flash a custom ROM on these devices, you actually need to have an SD card in the device, which I didn't have. So that's one thing that might be a good thing to have. And I think they actually recommend now to have an SD card, which they didn't say anything about this back at the time.
Yeah, iPhones, you have to buy them with the amount of memory that you know you're going to need, because you can't add any more.
Yep.
They don't take SD cards.
Yeah. And so I guess the first step that I'll have here as far as researching your phone is first know what OS you want to put onto it. There are a lot of options. There's Lineage, and then there's hundreds of little sub builds under Lineage. You know, you got Resurrection and few other ones.
I think I see one Copperhead or something like that.
What's that? I'm not sure if Copperhead is still around. I think you can buy a phone with Copperhead, but I don't think they make the code available to flash.
I stumbled across something like that when I was browsing the web.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As far as longest term support, I actually think EOS supports phones the longest. Lineage has long stopped supporting the Nexus 5X. But last I knew, EOS still does and is still pushing security updates. And so looking into the OS first is going to be your first step to figure out what you want to do. And then from there, it's a simple matter of looking at their compatibility charts and seeing what phone runs. So on Lineage, just go to the download page and you see a massive list of all the devices. EOS has a similar page. And so there's also other options. So I looked also at a Pine phone, and I might still think about getting one because I do have 2 lines. And getting a Pine phone would be fun, especially since having 2
Are they
lines,
still a thing? I haven't heard no buzz about those lately.
Yeah. I think the Pros are en route to come out soon. Hey, stop. Cat's trying to...
One good thing about having a Pine phone is that they have hardware switches in the form of the dip switches on the inside. I think you have to remove the battery in order to access them, but you can toggle off the wired the wireless connections and the cameras, and there is 6 or 7 things that you can turn off.
Yeah, so I still thinking about getting one, and if I think I could get one and ship it in a location I can get to it at a cross section of time that I'm there, it would be fun to play around with, especially since I have 2 lines, so it's not like a mission critical phone. And keeping the other ones around that still work, I can pop the SIM card out and into that as well if I need to. And so figuring out your operating system first. Somebody has in the comment here, get a Brax phone. I like some of Brax's stuff, but I have to agree with TechLore on some of the things. There's some things that some of his sites aren't secured right with proper SSLs and things like this. And it makes me kind of nervous about using his hardware.
Oh, that's that guy that's like always pushing the
Rob Braxton.
Yeah, security and everything else. He's another security nut, but he's got his own line of hardware.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I've seen
and
him.
a lot of his stuff is good. I get the feeling that he does know what he's talking about.
Get a de-Googleized phone today.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I picked one up and de-Googleized it in a matter of about 20 minutes. It's all good. But yeah, so there's that. You could buy one, but really we're stuck on Android again for our daily drivers, I think. But Lineage itself is good, solid in production. So starting with that, and then the next question is, where do you get your phone? Well, there are IMEI checkers online. You can check, make sure the phone you're looking at is not stolen. That's a good thing, particularly if you're getting it like Craigslist or stuff like that. The other factor to consider is, where did the phone originate? If you got a phone that originated with AT&T or Sprint, you absolutely cannot unlock them. Verizon, usually you cannot. So this is another compelling reason to get the Motos or the Googles. You can buy the phones from the manufacturer, which can all be unlocked. And there's places you can buy those as well. We'll get into those. You guys have any thoughts before we jump into that?
Well,
one thing that is also to consider is what kind of phone network type they support. Because here in Norway and in Europe, the 3G is switched off. And around the globe, there is plans to shut off the 3G networks. So figure out what kind of network type it supports. It's a good thing.
Yeah, and Verizon wants HD LTE, which the Nexus phones support, but they don't realize it supports. And so it's like, they're kind of annoying, like, this phone's going to stop working soon. It actually won't, but okay, you keep telling me that. But I would like to get a different line on there as well. So I might still buy the Pixel 3a. I might buy a Pine phone. I don't know. Not completely sure yet. But my primary phone, that's going to be the Razer 2 for a while. That seems to be a good, solid phone. It is big, it is heavy, it is a brick, but hey, it actually is going to do good for what I need the phone for, which slowly has been doing more photography with it as well, and I am actually happy with the photos it takes. At least I'm happy with how I think the photos take. I haven't actually plugged into the computer to pull them off yet.
And that's one of the areas where the smartphones really shine, is taking pictures.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And this one looks like it's going to be better. Dan, thoughts?
Actually, I bought my last iPhone. They had in the mall up in Flint, they had like a Best Buy thing in the mall. It was like a small Radio Shack, and it was all phones. Okay. And I bought my iPhone 7 there because I could get it and pay for it, and it'd be an unlocked phone. And they would set it up there in their store with my carrier, Verizon, and they wouldn't lock the phone for me. They told me, we'll set it up and leave your phone unlocked in case you want to switch carriers, which I thought was a really good deal for buying a new phone at that time. Mm-hmm. You know, that I actually felt for the first time I owned my phone.
Yeah.
Some other things you might want to consider if you buy like a used iPhone, because when I stopped working and I had to give stuff back to the company, an iPhone was one of them. And I asked them, what you want me to do with my company phone? They told me, just keep it. Mm-hmm. They didn't want it back. Because at the time they were getting out of iPhone 6s and giving everybody 7s and 8s because of battery issues. because they use them pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Well, now the phone, I tried to reset it so maybe I could go and get another number and have a second working phone. But I did a factory reset on it to discover there's a piece of hardware or software that corporation puts in these phones. When you reset the phone, it'll say this phone belongs to blah, blah company and so on and so forth and a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo. And then it'll say enter password. If you don't have that password, that phone will not go no farther nowhere. It's bricked.
Yeah.
So that's one thing to watch out with, phones that belong to companies, what they got in them to secure them.
Also, though, phones that don't belong to companies, because a lot of people don't realize if you put deeply connect your phone to Google and you try and sell that to somebody, if you have not detached that phone from your Google account, you will effectively lock the person out of it who sold it to you. And so I actually had that case with one of my phones because the people didn't even know that was a function, but they were a cool person. I bought the phone on eBay. Everything was great. It had a cracked screen, which I knew it had. They sold it to me for like $50 because of a cracked screen. And I know a screen replacement on that phone's like 30. And so I bought that. Everything was great, except it was locked. They were a cool person, though. I emailed them back and said, hey, just an FYI, this phone is locked into your Google account. I can't use it. Can you go onto your Google account and unlock it? So they logged into their Google account within the hour, unlocked the phone, and boom, my phone perfectly worked again. So that's something you have to watch out for.
Boy, you got lucky.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't, then you file a complaint through eBay itself, and they'll always side with the person spending the cash. So, Nomad Deluxe says a huge bonus to using a custom ROM is you get to use a hotspot for free. Not actually true. What happens with the hotspots is because of the net neutrality rules. Now, in United States, I should say, the net neutrality rules that we fought to keep, that we lost them. It was like, oh, see, you can still order your stuff online and eat your food and blah, blah, blah. Thanks, Asia, shut your pie hole. But it's actually not true because they can still block that. So on my Verizon phone, you can technically still use the hotspot, but it's metered at like 600K or something like that. It's an unreasonably slow amount. Enough that if you need to, log into some emergency email, you can do that, but you're not doing anything with that. But if I pay Verizon an extra $10 a month, they'll unlock it and I'll have full speed on the hotspot, and that's on a custom ROM. Mint Mobile, however, doesn't limit that. So I can use my Mint Mobile as much and as fast as I can wherever I'm at. So that is, in the United States at least, that is tied to that net neutrality that we lost, because that was a big thing a long time ago. You did have to either root your phone or have some other way around it to be able to use your phone as a hotspot. But when net neutrality laws came into effect, they were forced to open that up. But now that those are gone, they are allowed to lock them back down behind an additional paywall now. So
I was going to say, because I'm allowed to use my hotspot, but I probably have a legacy plan.
You just happen to have a plan that allows the hotspot. And
it allows me to have 4 gigabytes of data and it will roll over to the next month if I don't use it all or if I don't use any of it. But it only does that once, so the most I can have is 8 gigs at one time. And if you go over that, then they start charging something silly like $10 a gigabyte.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Pista Eros says, can't you just order from an online store or Apple directly to get an unlocked phone? Okay, yes, you can do that, and that's where you can get some of your unlocked phones. Make sure you're getting it directly from Apple, directly from Google, directly from Motorola. You can do that. The other place, though, in the United States where you can buy new unlocked phones from an in-stock inventory is actually Best Buy. So Best Buy is a great place to get phones, and you will oftentimes find open box deals. So if you
wonder if you need their $200 subscription that they got on the video cards to actually get the phone.
What's that?
They actually got, for the video cards, they want you to go into get a store subscription, which is you pay $200 to buy stuff in the store.
That's a bunch of nonsense.
And then once you pay $200, you go there and find out they don't have the video cards you want anyways, and you're really ripped off.
Yeah. I mean, Best Buy does some shady things, and I'm not a huge fan of them, but it is a great place to get phones because you can get Pixels there, you can get the latest Samsungs, you can get the latest iPhones, you get all that stuff, and all of the phones they sell are carrier unlocked because you can go in, you can buy the phone, you can get any of the, you can get AT&T, you can get Verizon, you can get T-Mobile, or you can go to the wall and get any number of the prepaid cards there as well. So Best Buy is a great place if you're looking to get a phone, hold it in your hand, look at it, and then buy it on the spot that's unlockable that you can flash Lineage on. They will have it. Now, you do need to check if the phones they're selling, they do. Usually it's the high-end phones, unfortunately, that takes Lineage. This is why I look for flagship phones from a few years ago, like, the Razer 2 phone. It's considered a big, beefy gaming phone. So it was like what, $800, $900 when it rolled out. $250. Sure, I'll take it,
Oh, I love it. Gaming phone.
It is. Yeah. There's only a few official gaming phones out there. This is one of them. In fact, if I did not have Lineage on it, Lineage doesn't support it, but the back logo is actually an RGB thing, and you can do funny RGB.
It's like
stuff
the mice and keyboard they sell.
Yeah, it's more bling than anything else. I liked it. It was cool, but I don't like it enough to sacrifice my privacy for it.
A phone that competes with the Steam Deck.
That's right. Hey, I don't know. What's the specs of the Steam Deck? Anyone know off the top of your head?
It'll run Windows 11, but it doesn't do it very well.
All right. I don't know. Selby, do you know the specs of the Steam Deck? Oh,
it's got some beefy AMD processor in it with a beefy Radeon graphics chip. But you got to remember the screen on it's not real big, so it doesn't have to do a 1080p, size video rendering for a game.
All right, I'm gonna look them up. I'm gonna compare these two. Steam Deck specs. All right. I
believe the Steam Deck has a real x86-64 processor.
So you hardware guys are going to have to help me out because we'll probably read processor names without seeing much about them. All right. So this has a Zen 2 4-core 8-thread 2.4 to 3.4 gigahertz CPU. There is a good GPU, 8 RDNAs, 2 CU.
It's all good late-breaking stuff.
Yeah.
It's within a couple years old.
16 gigs RAM. Okay. Yeah, I'd say the Steam Deck's probably better. So this is the Razer Phone 2. So let's find the GPU is an Adreno 630. I don't know what that means. CPU is an octa-core 4 2.8 gigahertz and 4 1.7 gigahertz. It has 8 gigs of RAM. So 64 is the internal 8 gigs of RAM. So yeah, it's not as beefy as the Steam Deck, but it's.
Well, you can't make a phone call with the Steam Deck.
It's also not made in 2024. Yeah, 2022. What year is it? I don't even know. I'm looking ahead for the nuclear fallout in 2024.
Speaking of gaming, the newest gaming setup that I have is a PlayStation 2, the Slim. And I have some 31 games or so for it. So I'm not the one who played the newest games.
Yeah, until I get a newer GPU, I ain't buying no more new games because I know they're going to crawl on it.
Yeah.
And I don't like that the modern game, in Linux, this is not a problem, but more and more modern games require that you have some form of online account. Even if it is for the local player, you have to have some form of
even Linux. Steam is an online account. Steam is also, you buy your games from, they're DRM locked. Now, I've had some good luck with GOG getting games from them that are DRM free and getting them to work in Lutris. However, you always sometimes have some niggle because I like to play my games with a controller. Controller almost guaranteed to always work in the Steam client. With Lutris, and you're trying to buy a game like Horizon Zero Dawn. The controller, the game plays, you can play with mouse and keyboard, but it doesn't recognize a controller with that, probably because it's a Sony game.
Yeah.
GOG was actually very good about refunding my money, and I gave him the reason why, and then I bought for the same price the game on Steam, and the controller works with the Steam client because it's built to do so.
Yeah, let's jump back over on topic where to get a phone. Amazon is a good choice. Of course, you go to Amazon, use my affiliate code tlm.li/Amazon. Helps support the channel. But you can come over here. I've actually had good luck getting phones on Amazon. They do have a good return policy. They are guaranteed to work. I have had to return one phone to Amazon in the past, and they took it back without any problem. So I'm just going to sort over here, and I'm going to click by the unlocked option. If you click into any of the carrier ones, they're generally locked. And now we just need to do the hard task of doing the difficult thing of sorting through, figure out which ones don't have notches, holes for cameras, and lacking headphone jacks, which pretty much
You
means
think
nothing.
it costs more to lock a phone these days?
Yeah, I don't know. But here's like a Google Pixel 6, unlocked smartphone. That's $600. I definitely don't spend $600 on phones. I don't even generally spend $250. So the Razer is even a little over my budget. Here's a Pixel 2 for $100. That one's qualifies, but it's getting a little old. So I'd want to do the Pixel 3A if I could. And then you can just hunt around and then look for the individual phones, and then just going to head on over to lineageos.org.
What's the longest a phone has lasted you?
Hold on. Lineageos.org, hit the download button, and then this is actually going to give you a list of all the different phones. And so you can click over and sort by branding and look at the individual phones. Then when you pull one up, you can see the recent changes, you can see the device information and the installation instructions. So that's usually the process that you're going to do, is to go on, jump on over to Amazon, buy a phone, get some research going and stuff like that. My phones, longest phone has lasted me. I've been running these Nexus 5Xs for a while, although I have had, I think, two or three, and I've rebuilt one of them a couple times. But
well, how long does one usually last you? I mean, this is a discussion getting into what you get for your money.
Yeah, I'd say this particular one, I think I've been running for 3 years.
Okay.
And I paid $100 for it.
I'm going on 5.5 years with this iPhone, and it hasn't been worked on at all, and it still gets security updates. Mm-hmm. Now the kicker is I paid $750 for this phone. Mm-hmm. And at the time it was the one with the most storage in it. The same phone, or the similar phone, the iPhone SE that's for sale now, is like $450 roughish. Mm-hmm. If you want one of those. So this type of phone has come down in price, but it's put up against like their bigger phones, like the iPhone 13 Pro. It's like $1,200.
It's the eye shepherd. All the sheep flock to it. $1,000. No, thank you.
I don't really like being part of the Apple ecosystem that much, but for the money, it served me very well. I can't gripe about what I got for what I paid for.
Yeah, I think I ran 2 iPhones. I had 3 iPhones. I had a total of 3 spread over 5 or 6 years. I forget.
I mean, you're going from 7, and the latest one now is 13. It's kind of weird, ain't it?
I had a 4, I had a 5C, and I had an SE. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, I'm done with Apple. Next place to pick up phones, eBay. I've gotten phones on eBay. Little bit shadier. If you buy from like a big store, you're probably going to get better off. But if you're buying from an individual person, of course, with eBay, I'd say that you just need to do a little, just do a little bit more research. There you go. There's a Nokia 2022 factory unlocked. Android cheap cell phones 71. Yeah, I'd probably avoid that one. Google Pixel 5G factory unlocked for $300. That's not too bad. So you can
one thing that is important to you mentioned it earlier when you are buying from eBay. Check the IMEI number in order to check that it's not stolen. Because last year and the year before there was some looting in a few cities. So there are a few stolen items circling. So just be careful. Careful with that.
Yeah, so what is this? IMEI.info. You can enter your number, fill out the CAPTCHA, and it's going to check, and this is going to tell you information about that particular phone. So if you are buying a used phone, particularly from an individual, it'd be good to check on that. Amazon, not as big of a deal on Amazon, I'd say. But just be aware, Craigslist or eBay, I would definitely get that information and check that first.
And also check that the phone is working, and if the seller is able to log into the phone, that is an indication that it's actually their phone.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah, if you're buying it from Craigslist, ask them to unlock it for you to look at it, so you can verify that you can get into it. Another thing to do when you buy a phone, if you're buying it from Amazon, if you're buying it from eBay, particularly if you're buying a used phone like I tend to, run the phone through all of the checks that you can. Check the audio, check that the cellular's working, check that the Wi-Fi is working, check if there's a headphone jack, check if the headphones are working. This one I will need to buy a $10 adapter, sadly, but oh well. I compromised in one way to solve a few other problems, I guess. And then I'm gonna be the hypocrite compromiser. It's gonna be horrible. But check everything before you install Lineage. So they have a 14-day return warranty on these. I broke it by installing Lineage on it. They will honor their warranty for 14 days. But if you custom mod it, whatever else, then the warranty is broken. So I've effectively broken the warranty. That's why you test it thoroughly first. I popped in my SIM card. I made sure I could make a call, made sure I could receive calls, made sure text messages went in and out. So these are all things that you do prior to installing Lineage, so you don't accidentally go whoops.
Whoops. On an off note here, if you have your phone Bluetooth linked to your vehicle and you are selling your vehicle, make sure that you go through the vehicle's memory and remove your phone and any other Bluetooth device that you have connected to your vehicle.
I'll one-up you. Don't connect them the first time.
Well, a lot of people are going to do that.
Yeah, I know, but... All right. Be diligent to remove all the information, realizing that, a lot of people don't do that, and then you can track people and stalk them. It's fun. Craigslist. I bought some cell phones from Craigslist. In fact, my very first Nexus 5X I bought on Craigslist. Drove a couple hours, met a guy at a gas station a couple hours away from in between the two of us, had some ice cream, swapped the phones, and it was a good phone. I liked it, and that phone served me very well. So Craigslist is a great place. Just pull up Craigslist in your area and just do a search for phones, and let's see what we get. Let's see if I can get any dial-ups by typing in just phone. Look at that. There's an unlocked Android phone, Hot Pepper Ghost, $30. I have no idea what Hot Pepper Ghost is. Sounds like a pepper. And then, of course, with eBay, we just get cars. I don't know why, but eBay throws cars under everything. So apparently there's not a ton of phones where I'm at. I guess if anybody happens to use it, check that Facebook place.
I got a question for you phone gurus.
Yeah.
Let's say you bought a phone, you got your SIM card in it, it works fine, and then about 2 weeks later, it's still under warranty, but the phone quits working fine and you need to send it into repair. Should you remove your SIM card from the phone before you send it out for repair?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise somebody could get that SIM card and pop it in any old phone and steal all your
stuff. At some point, someone's going to ask that question other than me.
Yeah, always take that SIM card out. If it's not working right or you get a new SIM card, you personally take the old SIM card and destroy it personally. Don't rely on the carrier to destroy that SIM card for you. Last place, of course, Pine phone. As I said, I might still buy a Pine phone. Hey, they have headphone jacks, no notches. It's like in a good form factor. I might really absolutely love it. The biggest problem I have with these
running on them now.
A lot of them are just not in stock. That's the kind of problem. So $150
They're not running
ones,
at all.
I think are out of stock. That's a bummer. I can get the $199, which comes with the original phone plus a docking station for $200. I think those are in stock. I might contact them and be like, hey,
Well, they come with KDE
how
on
quickly
them.
do these ship? I think they come stock with Ubuntu, I think.
That one said Manjaro.
Oh, did it? Okay.
That page you had up had the Manjaro symbol on it.
This one?
Yeah, that's one of the good thing about the Pine phones.
This one.
That's one of the good thing about Pine phones and the Pine devices is that they are running Linux on them. So if you really wanted to, some people have tried this, you can have a full desktop experience on your phone.
Yep. So these are obviously they're not quite as impressive as
there it is right
here.
there. It's got the Manjaro symbol on it.
Well, yeah. This is all the different phone symbols. So we have KDE, Manjaro, UB port, Sailfish. I forget what the other ones are, but yeah, there are a lot of builds you can put on the Pine phones. But last I knew, unless they change something, they all ship with Ubuntu by default.
Yeah, and that page also says mentions the kill switches for what you can turn off.
Yep, kill switches for LTE, cameras, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, microphones. That is a really good thing. That's why I kind of want one. So I should reach out to them and be like, how quickly can you actually ship them? It says in stock because I have a very narrow.
You're a content creator. They should give you one for free.
If they're offering it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I've actually spent my phone budget for the next while, so I'm not sure I can afford another phone right now anyway. So, but with that being said, those are kind of my thoughts. Now, if you're curious how I did put my Lineage on my phone, I will have that video. I'm going to shoot to have that video up on Saturday. I should be able to pull that off. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, let's check in on comments. And then if anybody sees any specific comments you'd like to read, let me know. And then we'll kind of wrap up here. Let's see. Don't like the notch. Don't like smartphones. They need more flip phones. I agree. Yeah. I'm finding on doing my travel channel, the cell phone is very convenient, which is good. So I'm using my phone now as a camera and as a communication device, and that's about it. So, pretty soon I'll have my banking app. No, I won't do that. Like my Wally World ZTE. There you go. Cheap and barely above a flip phone. There you go. Although the downside of those is you got to watch out. There's a lot of malware on some of those.
One of the best reasons for having a flip phone is to have the same type of device that Gibbs have in the NCIS series.
Yeah. Will a custom ROM help with battery life? I can't say I've run a phone without the custom ROM and with it just to test. My inclination is yes, because a lot fewer things are going on in the background on Lineage, particularly.
Yeah, and but it will depend on what you're using it for.
Correct. That is correct. But if you're doing the same exact workflow with a custom ROM, it should last longer than without the custom ROM with the exact same workflow. Now, I will say this. I gave Brave Browser a try, and it got uninstalled actually before I used it. Brave Browser, if anybody from Brave is watching, stop with your stupid bleep notifications. Literally, the thing's like, bing, get the most out of privacy, use Brave. I installed Brave. I intend to, but I'm not using it anymore. Screw you and your stupid browser. I deleted it. Didn't even get a chance to use it. Sorry, Brave. I gave you a chance. But y'all are stupid and decided to push notifications and random notifications on your stupid app. Screw you. I have a policy. You bother me on my phone as an app, you're getting deleted.
Yeah.
Holy hell. So yeah, Brave browser. Obviously, I did not install the DuckDuckGo browser.
I'm a
either, so-
Firefox and Forks pretty much for life.
Yeah. All right. Mini rant. Where's that fire screen?
I mean, I had to actually help a guy in a Peppermint forum today. I wrote him some instructions. His family liked Chrome, and they were streaming like Netflix and stuff like that. I mean, he would use Firefox if he had to, but he wanted to know if Chrome would work with Peppermint OS. So I actually found out how to actually install it and stuff like that, and I installed it, and I put the instructions on the forum, and it works fine. But, man, it looks really foreign to me, and it looks really chopped down from Firefox.
Like the full Google Chrome?
Yeah, the full Google Chrome. Well, he had to have something with DRM Widevine capability.
Well, most of your Chromium-based browsers will do that.
Chromium don't come with Widevine installed.
I know.
There is a hack.
Brave does.
There is a. I actually found a list on the internet. Very few browsers do come with DRM packaged with them. Now, with Chromium, you can, if you have a Chrome browser, take a couple of packages and move them over out of one spot into another spot in Linux for Chromium, and that will enable the DRM. But that's the best you're going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, open source type software, and I'm assuming Chromium is kind of open sourced. They don't have DRM, shipped with them. Only reason, Firefox has DRM enabled with it is because of special deals with Google. It's part of whatever special deal they have with Google to get the Widevine DRM so you can watch Netflix and all that junk.
Somebody asked if the Pine phone has a swappable battery.
Yeah, I know. I'm
think
getting
it
way
does.
off the topic.
I'm pretty sure it does, but I don't know.
Yeah, because you have to take out the battery in order to access the kill switches.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. It doesn't explicitly say it on the spec sheet, but I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah.
No, I'm not installing Bixby on my phone. Sorry. My friend at the same store, my friend found a Galaxy Note 10 Plus for I think $300. It was an insanely good price, and his wife was looking for new ones. Like, oh, I'll take that. Hello, Craig. How's it going there? Firefox has Widevine. DRM has nothing to do with Wi-Fi. DRM is your cookies replacement setting. Did anybody say that? How about privacy browser? I'll look into it. So on F-Droid, the FF installer, you used to use it to install the latest Firefox version. It now installs a whole host of different privacy-based browsers. Anything that is an open source browser code, you can install through that. So I installed Brave, I installed Firefox, ungoogled Chromium is on it. So I've ungoogled Chromium on mine, and it has it had Brave, which got deleted sadly.
Bad Brave, bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Not 100% open source. I avoid everything else. Yeah, and that's the thing. Do what it takes. Do what you need to do. I prefer open source, but I'm not afraid of proprietary if I have to. But absolutely. All right. Anything else before we jump off?
I think we've covered the vast majority of stuff.
All right.
There's even one of the comments, recent comments, is that one of us is not off topic because we have some good ideas. So
yeah,
there's that.
Absolutely. So we are on the Christian channel tonight. We're talking about this crazy trend of sex education gone out of control. So if you are into that type of content, we will not be doing the actual sex ed course, but we're going to be talking a little bit about what some people are doing with it with your children, including some hands-on instruction. What? Yeah, some of these people are actually advertising their their programs for elementary age children have hands-on instruction. Get your kids at public school, folks. But anyway, we'll be talking about some of those. Link is there. And anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you all next time.
Bye-bye, everyone.